All right. Yo, what up? And so forth. I'm going to be talking about funny Lilo and Stitch. Both of them. I watched both of them. So I have a pretty good, clear comparison in my brain, my funny brain. And if that doesn't tell you enough already, let me give a basic rundown of kind of the story. The story is basically the same in both of them. So let me just quickly, or as quickly as my explaining ass can go, through it. So for those who haven't seen it, it starts off in space, as any good story usually does. And you know the cute little mascot character we made for our funny little movie, pretty cool, pretty cute. We gotta love him. All the kids love him. He's a fucking war criminal. I love that. That's probably my favorite part of all of it is that he's a fucking menace. He's not a good character. He's not nice. He's horrible. And I love that. I love that that's how they introduce him, as like he's this little freakazoid who's basically invincible and can do everything. And that's pretty funny. I love it. It's a great character thing. And you would never expect it, but it's really funny seeing like an original Disney movie where it's like, oh yeah, the main character is basically just like the worst creature ever created and is being set to be like exiled, which is probably as close as they're gonna get to just fucking executing a baby on live television. So basically aliens are like, fuck this thing and fuck the scientist who made him, because he's not born, he was created, like engineered. He's a little creatureoid. And apparently he says alien slurs at the start, which is pretty cool. That's my Stitch right there. But anyways, they okay, in the movie, like the live action version, they remove one of the main antagonists. Just full movie, he's gone, not there from the original. I know he's like a big character, but I don't know. You probably could have kept him. I just don't see why you wouldn't. He was kind of important, just a little bit. But no, he's just not there. Big captain, awesome guy. Throughout the entirety of the show is just not there. They just completely remove his character with no rhyme or reason. So already, fuck that. Annoying. I love that character. His voice is awesome. I forget who voices him, but whoever does a really, really good job. And so I miss him. You immediately miss him if you've watched the original. What else? They make the scientists much more evil in the movie, like, because obviously they don't have the other guy to be more evil, so they're just like, oh, I guess we'll make the scientist character evil. It was just kind of weird, because in the original he's more so just like interested in science, which is kind of like, that just makes sense. Like, why wouldn't he be? Like, why is he evil? Why did they make him evil? Oh no, we took out the antagonist. We got to make another character the antagonist. Why not make the one that's likable and awesome from the original the antagonist? Fuck you. First of all. Anyways, continuing the story, Stitch gets away because he's awesome and also gross, which will lead into another point that the movie does, like the live action. I'll just keep calling that one the movie. I don't know why, because they're both movies, but I'll just, whenever I say movie, that's the live action one, just so you know. Anyways, so Stitch gets away. He escapes from the entirety of the galactic, however the fuck, they're just all there, and he's just like, oh, just the fucks off. And so he goes to Earth, and they're like, God damn it, we hate Earth because Earth sucks. And I'm like, you know what? Fair. That's completely understandable. Already another change. The one alien dude, the guy that's like the Earth expert, quote unquote, he's a lot more geeky and stupid. Like in the original, he is much more wary of humans and still kind of sees them as lesser, whereas in the movie, the live action, again, I did it again. He is much more of like, yeah, humans are awesome, I fucking love everything, and he's much less of a character that way as well, so that's pretty cool. So anyways, Stitch goes to Earth. He doesn't make it there yet. We gotta focus on our human characters, who in the original movie were actually really likable to an extent. for also varying reasons in one case. But anyways, Lilo is someone who's a little girl who's like 6 years old, so pretty small, pretty stupid, but also smart because they're a protagonist. And probably on the spectrum, probably, maybe, definitely. Anyways, she feeds a sandwich to a fish, and in really cool originality, I really like how in both versions she's actually played by a child. Like, you could totally tell. I don't want to hear it. You can definitely tell when a character is played by someone who is way fucking older than they should be. You can just tell. It's so obvious, whether it's voice acting or just pure live action. I'm so glad they made her actually a child, because it makes the movies way better. Anyways, she's fucking up a lot in life, and everybody doesn't really like her for, good reason. She is kind of a she's kind of mean. Like, she's not very nice to people, but they're not very nice to her either, so fair enough. In classic Disney fashion, her parents are dead, so lol. In both movies, so that's fine. However, the live action one really likes to hit you over the head with it. They're like, parents dead, flashing on screen, just so you know, her parents are dead. Whereas in the original, they kind of don't really tell you directly until like a certain point where they kind of, show you a little bit, where it's like she has a picture of them and they're not around ever, and everyone doesn't really talk about it, which is a lot more realistic than the live action one where everyone's like, it must be really hard after your parents died. Like, no shit. Okay. Modern movie moment. But anyways, in that movie, it's her sister taking care of her. And she is struggling because she's also a fairly young woman who is not meant to be a parent and is struggling and has to deal with the fact that social services are coming and they want to make sure she's actually able to parent this kid, which she is not. And so we get to see the hijinks ensue with that. And I really, really like the social worker that comes. Like, Cobra Bubbles from the original. He's fucking awesome. I love him. He's so unnecessarily like bodyguard scary. And it's so funny. I just really like his character. They butcher it completely in the live action one. They just ruin the whole twist about his character too, like immediately. Just to make it like make more sense, I guess. But yeah, spoilers, he's CIA. So, he's not actually a social worker. Well, he is, but he's former CIA in the original. In the live action, the moment he is introduced, they're like, oh, he's from CIA. Ha ha ha. It's like, okay. So, he's not nearly as much of a character in the live action because they just don't have time to make him a character, I guess. Because they got to focus on the other people that make no difference. Okay. David returns. He's in both of them, and he's awkward, and he has a crush on the older sister, and he's just kind of around. The live action version of him is way less important. Again, he really just like skimping out on characters in the modern ones, don't they? He's not much of a character in the original, but he's even less of it in the live action, which I didn't even know was possible, but they managed. Anyways, then then the trauma. Realism. No. Realism in my animated movie. My heart. Yeah, they actually do a really good job of making these characters feel like real in the original, whereas in the live action one, they do that a little bit, but then kind of forget about it immediately, and it's no longer really like the tone is all over the fucking place in the live action. I hate it. We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyways, I really, really like what the dynamic between the two sisters in the original. They give a lot of scenes where they just feel like people. That's not easy to do in an animated movie, so I have to give them major props for that. And then later on, Stitch comes, he's on Earth, and we get to see his experiences. And he is a very funny little guy. He gets ran over immediately, which I think is very based of them to run over their mascot character in cold blood. Right off the bat, interesting thing, they do mention that he is incredibly smart. And in the live action version, they don't make him smart. They really just make him like a puppy, and I don't get it. I hate it, because it's like, okay, for example, in the show, he gets taken into a dog shelter because people are stupid, and they're like, this is a weird fucking dog, and he sees a poster where he sees a dog getting adopted by a person, and so he pretends to be a dog to get adopted to use his human as a shield against the people that are after him, which is pretty good plan, honestly, for like a little creatureoid. He comes up with the same one in the live action, but immediately afterwards, he does nothing smart ever again. Whereas in the original, he is consistently like trying to do different things to like satiate his destructive tendencies and such, which they show that very loosely in the live action. He kind of just forgets about it because they just don't want to. They're like, we don't want to make him too dangerous. We don't want kids to be like trying to mimic his bad behavior. But it's kind of the whole point of the story, is to show that it's like not really something that you choose to do. It's because he's lashing out about not having a family and struggling with the fact that he was created to be destructive, and that's not the moral of the story. It's not to be a destructive person, is to like appreciate the things you have. Whatever, we'll just have him do pranks and stuff with Lilo in the live action. Well, he'll just be a prankster. He'll be a prankster, guys. Okay, whatever. Alien meant to destroy worlds is just a prankster. Okay, fine, whatever. And one of the main things that peeves me, I hate it, is that the two aliens sent after him, the scientist and the Earth lover, they almost immediately camouflage themselves to look like humans. I know this is to save on budget and to save on time, so they don't have to keep animated characters throughout the whole thing, and they can just be actors, but I hate it. I hate it so much. It just, it takes the life out of me. If it were any other company, I'd be like, all right, fine. But you're fucking Disney. You can afford that. You can afford them to be aliens. Just like make it so they wear clothes like they do in the original to make them look more human. You don't even have to show all their features. Just make it obvious that it's them. But no, they couldn't even do that. They were just like, yeah, just make them two guys that voice them. Which, like, I think it's cool that we get to see them, but I just think it's so lazy. It's so lazy. And I hate it. Because it's like, it's an animated movie. You can't just make all the characters human. Like, you can't make all the characters people. You can't stop doing that in every single show and movie that does that. They all do it. Oh, the aliens can camouflage as people to look like people. Fuck you. I hate it. I hate it so goddamn much. And they do it in every single fucking thing. Anywho. Lilo and Stitch, she like finds him in the dog pound, and she's like, I love this fucking blue little chaotic creature. And it feels, in the original, it feels very much like a little kid just being like, this is an awesome fucking dog. In the live action one, it's kind of like, it's a lot more obviously like, why are these people so accepting of the blue dog? I mean, they do immediately question it a little bit more than in the original, but it's still a fucking insane concept that they're like, oh yeah, blue dog, that's fine. They do poke fun at it a little bit in the live action, which is fair. They should, because it is fucking insane. But I mean, they're still gonna copy the original, so they can't poke fun at it too much because it's still got to progress the plot. But yeah, then hijinks ensue. They're together. Stitch is still a horrible little evil creature who decides to be destructive, which I like. He shouldn't be good yet, and it's very annoying in the live action how quickly he goes from being I'm destroying your house to oh okay I'll just dance now because I'm a funny little mascot. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Anyways, the older sister whose name I cannot fucking remember for some reason, just probably because like the soul was sucked out of me watching the live action one, so I just wanted to block out as many characters as I could. Anyways, she's trying to get a job and keep it and yada yada to be able to actually look after Lilo, because social workers like, if you don't have a fucking job, you can't provide for this kid. And it's like, fair enough, okay. So she's trying, but obviously in real human nature, it is very not easy to get a job, especially with two chaotic little creatures on your hands. And so basically they fuck up her job search completely, whether intentionally or not, which not intentionally, but you know, it still kind of happens regardless. And one of the most like memeable scenes occurs where she is like, your badness levels are increasingly high for someone your size. We have to fix that. And I really like that scene. Very funny. And then they take him home. He destroys almost everything. And the older sister's like, fuck your dog. Kill your dog, please. And Lilo's like, no. Family. We gotta be family. And then she's like, oh, goddamn, you hit me with the F word. So they keep Stitch again because apparently older sisters cannot resist their young sister saying one word that was uttered by their now deceased parents. But, you know, fair enough. So she keeps the dog, in quotation marks, about 1,000 of them. And he's a bit of an asshole still, which I like. Good job. He shouldn't be nice yet. Whereas in the live action, he's already like, he destroyed their whole fucking house like 2 seconds ago, and then she's just like, no, let me show you how to dance. And he's like, all right, I'm good now. I'm cured. It's just like that. Familial trauma over. Now I know how to hula dance. But in the original, it takes a lot more time. He slowly mellows out over the span of a bit more time after the whole like bedtime scene. And in the original, they have him look through the storybook of the ugly duckling and how it's all alone, and when it finally cries out, it finally finds its family and it's no longer alone, yada yada. In the live action, they don't have that scene. They don't have him realize that he's alone in life, which I think is done to like not make it as depressing, but fuck you, make my children movie depressing as fuck. Like, come on. It just really drives home the feeling of like both of these people feel like they don't have their families, and it's like they don't include that in the live action. They have a scene where the two characters talk aloud saying, oh, do you have a family? No. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Okay. So it's just where it just doesn't flow as nice to just say things. You don't just say things. They show it way more in the animated one, which makes sense because it's animated, but you can still show things in real life. You don't have to have it all be just like dumb, stupid dialogue that people would never say. Where's your family? I don't know. I don't have one. Oh. Okay. Me neither. High five. Fuck. It hurts my head. This is already like almost 20 minutes of me talking. I don't know how long I want to keep doing this, but I have to keep going. I'm not even like a quarter through. Anyways, fast forward a bit. Basically a lot of shit happens. The aliens almost get Stitch, and then they're like, fuck you, Stitch, and he's like, damn. Damn, I guess you aren't my family. Shit. And so he hears them saying like, oh shit, I gotta give you up to like child services. That kind of sucks. And they have a really touching moment, and honestly, just watch the original movie. Like it just do it. It's such a fucking good movie. And then they have that sorta in the live action one, but like not nearly as emotional. It just feels like it kind of just happens out of nowhere because there's a lot more build up in the original, whereas in this one they just kind of like skip over a bunch of shit. And it's like they're the same length, so what the fuck? I don't even know how they're the same length of movies, because it's like the animated one just shows so much more shit going on, whereas the live action one, it's like they're like, oh, look at the beach, and it's like, what? I don't fucking care about all these extras. Just tell me the most important shit going on, and they don't. Anyways, so time passes. Stitch runs away. He gets like kind of caught, but then gets away again and runs back to the house. And then they have a big confrontation in the house. The house explodes because the scientist guy is like, I don't fucking care about a human girl. I'm just gonna get my experiment and go home, and I don't care if I have to like, I'll kidnap 1,000 children if I have to, type shit. But anyways, they blow up the house, the whole house, it's gone, reduced to ashes, and everyone's like, Zayum, you're a terrible parent, huh, sister character? And she's like, I didn't blow up the house, I'm epic and hot. And they're like, no, we're taking your younger sister away now. And so Stitch feels like really bad because he's like, oh shit, I'm ruining this family that's already struggling. And so he gives himself up, and somehow like Lilo gets away, but then big captain guy who's not in the live action one gets them both, and he's like, haha, now I have both a child and a creature, and I am pleased with myself. And so he starts leaving, and Stitch manages to get away, so Lilo's like, damn, fuck you, okay. I guess I'm stuck in the capsule. So they fly away, and the older sister's like, you fucking alien bastards, can you help me get my sister back? And they're like, why the hell would we do that? And then they're like, I just want my creature. And then Stitch is just like, he's like, you want me to help you after everything you've put me through? And he's just like, yeah. And he's just like, all right. And that's how they bypass that barrier. He just agrees to help him, and I kind of love that. It's just that easy. So then they take their other spaceship, they go after them. It's a big scene, everything happens. It's awesome. It's pretty cool. Watch the original. And then like the big emperor comes down, and she's just like, what the fuck are you all doing here? Like, you guys all suck so much. And they're like, yeah, that's kind of true. And then she's just like, I'm gonna be taking little creature now, come on. And so he's just like, okay, sorry. And he's like, can I say goodbye to my people? I love them. And she's like, oh, you love them? Shit, you couldn't love before. Well, now that you can, that's kind of based. You can stay. And everyone lives happily ever after. And in the live action one, this kind of also happens, but a lot less interestingly, and it's all completely copied from the original. Like, line for line, Stitch's whole like speech is the exact same. So it's just, it doesn't feel as, impactful, because it's just like, I've heard this before from like a way better movie. And there's also a grandma character in the live action one who's just there. She's just there. She's not important at all. And that's awesome, right? She's just I don't know. Anyways, everyone just is okay with the fact there's aliens now, which I mean is kind of what happens in the original, but it just feels even weirder that in this one they all just scream when they see one alien, and it's just like, all right, whatever, there's like 8,000 of them. So Stitch gets to say everyone's happy. Nobody on planet Earth questions why there's a little blue creature being with everyone, but it's chill. He's chill with it, so who cares? And that's kind of how it goes. But in the terms of the live action one, ooh, does it irk me? Ooh, it skips over so much. Like, most of the storyline that I've been telling you is from the original. The way I'm describing it is like the original for the most part, because the live action one skips over so much shit, and the stuff that it doesn't skip over is not nearly as interesting. They just do it worse. Because it's like, I don't want to see the scientist character being evil. He's just stupid and misguided and just wants to know things in the original, and so that's a lot more of a lovable character trait than just haha, I am evil man scientist. And the other guy just being like, I love the earth, we love the earth, and he's just like so fucking he just reminds me of like a shittier Fix It Felix, who's just like, I love everything, but he doesn't go through any character changes or nothing. He doesn't even beg the hot babe at the end like Fix It Felix does. So who cares about one-eyed dickhead in the live action? In the original, he's pretty neat. But I mean, I could just say that about everything. Like in the original, it was just better in every single fucking way. So in other words, the live action was pretty fucking pointless. They ruined a lot of the characters. They removed one of them. They made Stitch not interesting at all. He was just a dog. And they relied on gross out humor a lot of the time, and I didn't like that. I don't know if I'm like the only person on earth who doesn't like when a character is just being fucking disgusting, but for some reason everybody loves it. Like, I guess I'm just the only not 2-year-old when I'm watching this movie, but I don't know. It's like he's like rubbing snot on the window, and I'm just like, that's gross. It's not funny. It's never funny. And why is this alien who has the smarts of like 1,000 supercomputers, which is like real dialogue, that's what they say, he's smarter than like 1,000 supercomputers, but yet he's like smearing his face on a window in a hotel in the live action. And like, sure, in the original he does do dumb shit like that, but it's closer to the start, not halfway through, where he's still kind of like acting like a dog. Whereas in the live action, he's acting like a dog the whole time. Like, the whole time he's doing that. There's like 2 scenes where he's not. And it's like, he's not, what? He doesn't even go back to his normal form afterwards. They forgot that he changed forms to look like a dog. He just never goes back to that in the live action. He just forever looks like that because he just doesn't look like himself again. Which is very odd. Because yeah, in the original, he's like, oh, they know I'm not a dog, so I'll just look like me again. But in the live action, he never changes back. He's just forever, I have 2 arms now. He has 4 normally. I'm just saying. Everybody forgot about that, I guess. Like, the animators, the writers, everyone, they just didn't care. They're like, yeah, everybody likes him with 2 arms better. And it's like, all right. And a lot of the scenes where he is being intelligent is just completely cut. They just don't have them. Because like there's one scene in the original where he like pulls a gun on a frog, but they don't do that in this one because they don't want. He can't have guns, even though we give him one later. Even though it's like literally a portal gun from Portal, they just have that. Okay. That's not the original. They just have straight up blasters that blow shit up. But no, in the live action, they're like, we can't have violence in our movie. We just have to have the portal gun from Aperture Science. Okay, cool. And they do one interesting kind of thing with it that's literally just a reference to Portal. Somehow, I don't know why they're just able to do that, but they can because they're Disney. So they get away with it, and they're like, oh, it's the end of the movie. It's about that time. I guess we'll make our human characters look like aliens again because we forgot that they could do that, and that's stupid when they aren't. So, yeah, I talked for nearly half an hour. I looked at the time. Oh my god, I talked about these fucking movies for nearly half an hour. I'm sorry. For anyone who listened this whole time, thank you. I'm sorry also, but yeah, long story short, the remake, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, had at least 2 good moments in it. And the original was better in every single other way. So, yeah. The live action maybe had a little bit more realism to it in certain aspects. But the original made me actually feel, which is a bit different than watching another movie that made me feel nothing. In fact, it actually made me feel hatred, which I knew that would be the result, but I still put myself through it. So, you know, maybe some self-reflection is needed instead of, you know, reflecting on the movies, but, you know, what do I know? I'm just a dipshit who decided to waste, like, fucking however long watching both of them and then recording this. So I'm gonna end it before I hit the 30-minute mark so I don't feel as bad. And yeah, thank you for listening to my rant about this dumb shit. But yeah, the original was really good. I didn't watch the sequel because that sounds fucking stupid. Because there is a sequel, in case you didn't know, but I'm not watching it. Sorry. I'm not sorry.